Thank you for joining us on this Facebook Live. Good morning, everyone. I'm Tricia Sloma. So glad you could join us today. We are coming at you from our newsroom here at WNDU. On Wednesdays, I join you to let you know about the stories that I'm working on for Wednesday's Child. Of course, our Wednesday's Child stories feature the stories of kids who have been in foster care for a very long time. Their biological parents have been stripped of their parental rights. And these kids are now in need of adoptive families. So they need someone to step in. A lot of times grandparents end up caring for these kids, or aunts and uncles. And yes, that happens. A lot of times adoptions are completed that way, and you may never hear about those. But there are some kids that end up in foster care because they don't have that family network or family friends that are willing to step in and say, okay, we'll help you out. We're gonna, give this kid a home. And this is exactly what happens. And foster care is the only other option. And sometimes these kids are in foster care for numerous years. And what the hope is that we can help these kids find an adoptive family before they age out of the system. If you age out of the system, there's a chance you could be homeless. These kids are at high risk of incarceration, drug abuse, pregnancy, these types of things. So this is what we're trying to avoid with these kids. These kids were put in foster care years ago, no fault of their own. They were removed because of something their parents did, or maybe their parents died. So there's all sorts of reasons why a child ends up in foster care, but just remember, they're looking for a safe and stable home. So let's start talking about our stories. We've got Keaton this week. I want to feature him real quick. Keaton is an awesome kid. He is a Michigan foster kid. He is very religious. He says he loves going to church. He is very proud of his Christian faith. He looks forward to going to church with his new family someday. He loves to read. He's got some pretty deep reading lists. So this kid is very a bit of a bookworm, I should say. Keaton is also someone who loves the outdoors. He worked on his aunt and uncle's farm, took care of calves. He is somebody who loves animals. He did say in his interview how much he loves being outdoors. He loved going catfishing with his grandpa and his uncle. So I just mentioned, he lived with his aunt and uncle for a time. He mentioned his grandfather. He knows what it's like to have strong connections to family. But as I mentioned at the start of this report, we know that not everybody can have that kind of backup. And perhaps the grandparents have since passed on, or maybe the aunt and uncle are no longer in a position that they can provide the care that he needs. So this is the situation with Keaton. We certainly hope you'll tune in tonight just before 6. We've got his story running right here on Channel 16, and that's just one of the stories. Grant Me Hope, of course, our partner there in Michigan. That's how we're able to tell the stories of Michigan kids. I'm able to meet the Indiana kids and work with DCS. They vet these kids. I'm able to meet with them if they travel up here, and we spend some time together, usually at the Kroc Center right here in South Bend. But in Michigan, I work with Grant Me Hope. It's a program that is a nonprofit. They actually tell the stories of kids. They work with this video service. Barb Aldrink. Hi, Barb, if you're watching. I know she tunes in for our Facebook Lives. They just do a tremendous service in interviewing these kids and then sharing their stories. So do tune in for Keaton's story. It runs tonight just before 6. And now I've got a really cool story about Kayla. Kayla was last week's Wednesday's Child, and Kayla, oh, I enjoyed meeting her so much. 15 years old, also a bookworm, but she's also looking out for other foster kids and trying to collect books to donate to them. I want you to pay attention to her story. Let's hopefully help her get a home, and I think you're going to just love watching this Wednesday's Child story. Take a look. Taylor Swift is Kayla's favorite artist.
She's just such a wonderful person, and I love her so much.
Has she helped you through some times?
Yes, 100%, yes.
Kayla has been in foster care a long time.
Almost 6 years, I think.
She wants to be adopted by new parents who care.
It's good to have some people that are there for you, like a family.
Kayla has ambitious career goals.
I really like outer space, and so I wanted to try to be an engineer of that sort, or I like the idea of becoming a doctor.
She just needs to focus on getting through school.
I like school a lot. It's just sometimes I don't like the people in school.
Kayla loves to read.
When you're reading, you go to a different place and you just feel how the author is feeling in the moment.
Kayla wants to help other foster kids have better access to books, so she started a collection.
I am trying to find places to put them so that foster children can read without the hassle of trying to get a library card or buying them.
Sharing her love of books and celebrating her favorite music. Tell me your favorite Taylor Swift song.
I'd have to say Don't Blame Me. It's in her Reputation album. It's just so good. I just love it.
That's such a sweet story. We just loved meeting Kayla. Her full name is Michaela. So if you go to our website and click on her story and then click in that story, there's a link to Indiana Adoption Program and it'll say Michaela. Well, that's her formal name and she prefers Kayla though. But of course on Indiana Adoption Program, if you're looking for more information on Kayla, look at Michaela. So, sweetheart, right? And Taylor Swift fan, we've got a big Taylor Swift concert coming to Indianapolis this fall, and she would really love to go to that concert. Now, tickets are extremely expensive, so we're hoping that she can figure out a way, or maybe somebody will step forward and help her in her effort to go to that concert. So maybe somebody's got an extra ticket. Who knows? Stranger things have happened. So we're excited for her. She's such a talented young girl. I mean, what teenage girl hasn't said, you know, I like school, but I just don't like some of the people in it. Yeah, I mean, that was me growing up as well. It was hard. Teenage life is not easy. And sometimes these kids just need that little extra guidance to help them navigate life. Some of these kids don't even have their driver's license yet. You know, I talked to Kayla about that, and she said, yeah, I just need somebody to help me get my driving hours. She's 15, wants to get her driver's license at 16. Do you know what a difference that makes for some of these teenage kids? That's a difference between getting a job or not. That's the difference of whether or not you can leave school, go to your job, and then drive home. So, I mean, these are simple things that are your next step to adulthood. Also, a lot of these kids that I talk to want to go into the military. That's not necessarily the case here with Kayla. She wants to be an engineer or other things, but some of the kids that I meet, they want to go into the military. Well, you know, there's forms to fill out. There's recruiters that you need to meet with. There's different branches that you should consider. So, you know, there's so many people with wonderful military backgrounds in our area. Can you imagine if you were the family that you know, helped this kid or another kid, you know, make those next step in their military choice or their education? Wow, saving a life, you know? A lot of people wonder, how can I help? I don't have the means. I don't want to foster. I don't want to adopt from foster care, but I do want to help. You can share our stories because we know so many people catch wind of our stories after they've seen it on social media. So keep that in mind. There's ways that you can help just by sharing and spreading the word about Wednesday's Child and adoption from foster care. You know, we've got so much more on our website, WNDU.com, and that's where you'll find our Wednesday's Child stories. You can find links to Indiana Adoption Program and Michigan Adoption Resource Exchange. Grant Me Hope, of course, helping us out with those stories as well. That's it for our Wednesday's Child Facebook Live. So glad you could join us this morning. Tune in tonight, just before 6.